I'm going to clarify how to ship your products directly from China. What is up, everyone? My name is Pat Harris and I'm a full-time Amazon FBA seller. On my channel, I share tips and strategies that help with my own Amazon FBA business so they could help you out as well. I also run an FBA Facebook group with over 1,700 other FBA sellers and students of mine. So if you want to join for free, hit the link down below in the description. All of my information is right down below. In this video, I'm going to clarify how to ship your products directly from China to Amazon's fulfillment center. I know when I first started out, it was really confusing. I always had a hard time trying to figure out how to do it and I didn't know which way to go. So I'm going to break it down and tell you if you need a freight forwarder or if you could use your supplier, which one is better. And I'm going to tell you which shipping method is the best so your inventory doesn't get stranded somewhere in China. And I'm going to break it down as simple as possible. But before we get into it, if you could like this video, subscribe to the channel. I know I say it in every video, but it really does go a long way and it helps me out. So thank you. I really appreciate it. But let's dive into my computer and show you the simplest way to ship your inventory from China directly to Amazon's fulfillment center. Let's go. All right, guys, I'm gonna try to make this video really short and simple, so let's dive in. So I'm gonna go over how to ship your products from your manufacturer, whether it's in China or any other country, and get it directly to Amazon's fulfillment center, the easiest way, and give you everything that you need to know. So let's dive in. So first off, you're probably wondering, do you need a freight forwarder or can you use your supplier to get your products to Amazon's fulfillment center? And for both of my products, I've used my supplier. And the reason is because I got quotes from freight forwarders and the price was only about $10 or $20 difference. So I didn't want to go through the hassle of getting a freight forwarder to do everything for me when I could just go directly to my supplier. But you might want a freight forwarder because your supplier is overcharging you. That's why it's always great to get quotes from other freight forwarder companies so you know that you're not getting ripped off. Another reason you might go with a freight forwarder is because they offer services. Usually they offer inspection services so they could check your product, make sure everything's good. And it's great because they don't work with the actual supplier, so they'll tell you if there's any issues with your product. And then the next is check multiple rates to make sure you're not getting ripped off. And then suppliers have their own freight forwarders. So China is like a big interweb. So they have a lot of freight forwarders that offer the same prices. So that's why I've always gone with my suppliers, but you might get a supplier that tries to rip you off. So that's why you might want to go with a freight forwarder instead of your supplier. And then also ask your supplier if they have experience shipping to Amazon. Most of them do, but if they don't, you need to give them the guidelines on what Amazon requires. And you could just Google Amazon FBA shipping guidelines, and then you could send that to them. They just got to make sure that the labels are placed at a certain spot. But let's go to the next slide. So these are all of the different types of shipping. You don't need to know all of them. The main one that you should do is DDP, and it's right there. It means delivery, duty, place. And that covers all of the fees, and it gets your product from China directly to Amazon's fulfillment center. All of these other ones, you need middlemen. It gets to the port, and then you need to hire someone to get it from the port to the actual customs. You need an agent, and you don't need to worry about any of that with DDP shipping. So I always recommend DDP. It's the most expensive, but it's the easiest, especially if you're just starting out. Always do DDP. Okay, and here's some additional info. So the quickest method, but it's the most expensive, is Air Express. That means they fly it over here. It takes about 10 to 15 days, but it's a lot more money. So if you don't have a huge profit margin or a lot of money, then don't go this route. I always do via sea or ocean freight, and it's a lot cheaper and it gets here in about 30 days. But if you need to rush your inventory, you could always do half air, half sea, and you just create two different shipping plans. So you would do half on the air shipping plan and then half of the inventory on the sea. And it's really easy. It might sound confusing, but it's easy to do it that way. Then you get your product here quick, and then the rest of your product arrives a little later, but it saves you money. So I always do sea shipping. And then also, if you're looking for a freight forwarder, I have one in my group, which is down below. Her name is Cindy Chang. A lot of the group members have used her. I've used her for quotes. She is really responsive and easy to get a hold of, and she's really easy to communicate. Some of these other companies are hard to communicate with. There's a language barrier. So if you want to check her out or get a quote, go ahead and hit the link down below, and she is in my group. Just tag her or message her directly. She's ready for your questions. And then the last thing is, if you're trying to get a quote from a freight forwarder and they ask where is it going, you want to give them a fulfillment center in the US if that's where you're selling. And I always give them the FTW1 Fulfillment Center address. Just go on Google, type in that, and then you could give them that address to get a quote. It gives you a good idea, it gives them a good idea of where the product will be going. But you don't know where your product is going until you create your shipping plan, and then Amazon will tell you where they want you to send it. So that is it. That is all of the basics about shipping from China to Amazon's warehouse. If you have any other questions, hit the comments down below. And also, if you're just starting out with Amazon FBA, check out the course I offer. I also do mentorship, but I charge really cheap prices compared to all the other people out there. A lot of ripoffs and scams, and I am here to help you out at a reasonable price. So you can check that out down below and join my free FBA Facebook group, which is where my freight forwarder is, Cindy Chang. And you could also talk to all the other FBA sellers on there, ask any questions. Hit the link down below. Now don't forget to like, subscribe. I already said that in the beginning, but I am getting tired of talking, so I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.